What's up, everybody? Do not change that dial. Welcome back to the Protect Our Queens podcast presented by Basketball Society. With me, as always, my brother in Christ, my partner in women's basketball crime, the founder of Basketball Society, Martin Sori is my guy. Happy Wednesday. How we feeling?
What's up, man? Remember, the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. I see no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. You don't know the reference. It's okay. It's not because you're too young. It's because you don't watch great movies enough. If someone hears that and knows the reference, drop it in the comments. If you're probably hearing this watch on the playback, because we're just going live now, so there's no one here yet. They're coming in. If someone hears the reference, remember the 5th of November. Drop the reference in the comments. I'll send you a little love offering. There's our trivia for the night. You have no idea. You have no idea.
I'm lost.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect you to pick up on it. In fact, I think I asked you, maybe it was last year this time, or maybe the other day when I saw that we were about to do this on the 5th of November, and I was like, man, let's see if he picks. I think I said it to you in text, and you were like, no, don't know it. Like, all right, just leave it alone. It's all right. Even if I said the name of the movie, I don't even know if you've heard of it.
Name of the movie.
V for Vendetta. Yeah, it's not Juice. Or it's not Friday After Next, bro. It's Marcus is very black. Marcus. It's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. V for Vendetta. Look it up. You might enjoy it. It's kind of a it's a little weird. If you look it up and you see the cover and stuff, you'll probably think I'm even more of a weirdo, but it's a good movie. It's like a revolution type of movie. It's London, the bridge, and it's kind of a revolutionist themed movie. So
that actually does sound like something that's right up my alley. Even though I hate it.
You might enjoy it. You might enjoy it. It's got a little history. It's got a little history component. It's like it's mostly fiction, but it's based on Guy Fawkes. I know you don't know who that is, but it's yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, a lot of reference. We're starting out in left field. What's up, Jeremy? What's up, man? Good to see you. Glad to have you. If you're watching, send the link to a friend. We're getting into the women's basketball things tonight. College season is started. We're both excited to talk about some college stuff tonight. So yeah, send the link to a friend if you're watching live. We're here. Welcome to the Protect Our Queens podcast. We're live. Just a couple of men who love women's basketball.
We have a lot to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit about the male coaching thing in the WNBA. We're going to talk about MiLaysia Fulwiley at LSU. She looked pretty good in her first game. We're going to talk about Sarah Strong, also looked pretty good in their first game. But before we do that, I just have a question for you. Serious question.
Yeah.
If you took the 5 best gays in the WNBA,
oh boy,
and you match them up against the 5 best straights in the WNBA, let's just say we put them in a best of 7 series. Are the gays winning that series or the straights winning that series? Talk to me.
I feel like it's neck and neck, bro. I feel like I feel like we're forgetting that both sides have a squad here, right?
That's a good point.
We can acknowledge that both sides have squads.
Sure.
Of course, Sydney Colson made this even spicier because she was asked by, was it Candace and Aaliyah on their podcast, and they asked Sid, and she started by asking, are
all the gays we know or the gays we don't?
She's ready to out people to add to the roster. So Sydney Colson has added a little spice to it, but based on the ones we know,
I mean, if we just run down the straight
four. No, yeah, but the
Nafisa
for the straights, right? They have Asia, they have
the
Nafisa,
2 best players in the world.
They have Caitlin. They have Alicia Gray.
Yeah. Alicia
They
Gray.
have it's funny when you start thinking of people where you're not sure. Kelsey Mitchell, do we know what is she? Wait, do we know? Okay. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think so.
So you're saying you think she'd be on the gays?
I think so.
Okay. I that would be my assumption. That's one I wasn't. I don't know for sure. Like
I don't know for sure.
We know Arike is on the gay. I mean, let's stay with the straight. So we know Caitlin, Asia, Fee, Alicia Gray.
How 2 on the straight team?
You know what? I don't know.
There's that picture of her and Tisha Heidemann and
did you see that? Yeah, I didn't know if that was. I don't know.
Let's stay away from Satu.
We're about to leave her on there, I think. I don't think she's
Aaliyah Boston is straight.
Aaliyah Boston. They have
No,
Aaliyah Boston. They brought it up on their podcast. So Candace said Aaliyah is the captain, but they have the straights have a lot of high level players. Some of the best players in the league are still straight. So
you go to the gates, you got Brianna Stewart and Alyssa Thomas right off the bat. So
absolutely. You got Paige in there.
Chelsea Gray is on that team.
Chelsea Gray's on that team. Arike is on that team. John Cole Jones is on that team. That squad is pretty stacked. So yeah, listen. What do you got? I mean, on the straights, okay. I think Veronica Burton.
I think. Where's Jackie?
Where is Jackie? Do you know? You should know. You should have some idea.
I thought I knew, and then the Aces had a dress like your bae party, or dress like your crush party, and then it was a little
right. Yeah,
it was aghast.
Yeah, Jackie.
Sonia Citron is on the straights team.
Sonia Citron's on the straights team. Kiki Irifin is on the straights team. So they got some depth. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Kiki Irifin's on the straight team. Yeah,
those straights, they got some depth, I feel like we want to root for the gays so much because we know that they comprise much of the league and we want to support, and I'm all for that. But I'm like, man, are we forgetting that the straights
Who's coaching what team?
Ooh,
like who do you put? Who's the coach for
Becky? Is Becky?
Becky has kids, but I think
I don't know. So. I don't know. Kurt Miller would have to have a spot on the staff for the gays, right? He needs a spot on the staff, right? Needs representative.
Yeah, I can't think of any other coach that we know for sure would fall into that. I think Becky would be I do think Becky's probably.
Oh, Stephanie White. She's probably the head coach of the gays, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say so.
I would say so. Who's the head coach of the squad? It's interesting. Let us know in the comments.
Who's the? Yeah, let us know in the comments.
Who's the first one? Who's the coach? Let us know who you think. If you put the gays and the straights in the 7-game series, who wins?
The coaches are interesting. Who's on the straight side? Is Nakase? I don't know if Natalie Nakase is married or Cheryl. Well, Cheryl Reeve. Okay.
Is she?
Is she gay?
I don't know.
You're throwing out names. You don't even know.
I'm just thinking straight coach like Cheryl Reeve is the first thing that popped in mind. I have no idea. I have no reason. I really have no reason to think that she is either.
I don't know. I think she's gay. I think she's
Paul
gay.
Smesco? Maybe.
I honestly
Tibbetts?
The male
Nate Tibbetts is married, isn't he?
Nate Tibbetts, I believe, is married, and he comes off. I think he's straight. I think he could be.
It might be Nate
coach for the straight. What about Sandy Brondello? Do you know if she is she married?
I have no idea.
Is she up in the air? Another one that's a little dicey, or do we not
she
know?
She was with the Liberty, and that's like
well,
according to Natasha Cloud. No. Well, what I'm saying is, according to Natasha Cloud, it's the gayest of all the teams, on and off the floor. So
right. I don't know. So yeah, we don't know. You just named another one for the gays, Natasha Cloud. She's on. She's coming off the bench. She's Dejanay Carrington. She's coming off the bench for that team. Well, the gays are pretty loaded.
It's pretty good.
Why Dejanay? Why'd you?
Well, I said what? Well, she is, but I was saying because I think there's something on Twitter, but they broke up again, which is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. I think she denied it though, like subtly.
Okay. Melissa Smith is on that team probably too.
Yeah, the gays have depth. The gays probably have the most. I don't want to say quality depth, but they're going to have some interesting depth. The straights, they might have to look around and
I gotta find some of the ones in the middle, try to lobby them over to that side. Yeah.
Ask some questions, do some flipping, and see what they can do.
Flip some delegates over from the left to the right. Make it happen.
If that, I mean, who would be so bold as to? It's not like it's gonna happen at All-Star Weekend. Maybe one of these new leagues. As we speak, the new unrivaled rosters are being revealed. There's this whole new league that's a big story today. Nneka Ogwumike signing with this Saudi Arabian apparently backed new league that's got investors like Novak Djokovic and Candace Parker, and they'll be playing in Europe next year. Apparently Nneka is the first big signing for this league called Project B, which I don't know how that could possibly stick going forward as a name of a league. That thing's got to change. It sounds like a mutant experiment lab or something like Project B. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah, that's interesting. That sounds like one of those those European soccer leagues or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's like Club B, Club
Yeah.
C. It sounds like I don't know, but it's happening. There's a lot going on in women's basketball right now.
What if one of the straights had some experiences in college? I feel like,
ooh, that's like another category. I feel like,
but I think that's based on how you exist currently. I think
it's more about how you exist currently.
Thank you, Lord Jesus, for making Alicia straight. You know what's funny? I was shocked when I saw the engagement thing because I was for you.
You thought, yeah.
I was
sometimes you don't know. I mean, sometimes you don't know until you know.
What kind of unicorn are you?
That's pretty good.
Veronica Burton is dating a footballer in the NFL. Okay, so she would be on this.
Yeah, I had a feeling she was straight. I had a feeling she's straight.
Yeah. Cheryl Reeve is part of the LGBT.
Had a feeling about that too. Yeah. Thought so.
Sandy Brondello is married to a dude on Sabbath. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yep.
What team is? See, I don't know. I don't know what team Jackie's on.
We were trying to figure that out.
Who's your crush party and turn some heads, raise some eyebrows. I don't know.
I feel like at one point she was dating like a football player or something.
I thought so.
Right? But it's like we don't know.
We don't know, bro. Not talking. No one knows your business unless you're on the team. Like no one knows. And great teammates, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? NECA is
team straight, right? Or no? Am I wrong? NECA?
I think so.
I'm thinking of Chennai. NECA. What do we know? I don't know about NECA.
Oh, boom. We forgot one. Rakia. Yeah.
Oh, Rakia Jackson. There you go.
Cam Brink is
Also
Angel Reese is on the Straits team.
Angel Reese is on Team Straight.
Okay,
it sounds like Team Straight's got a squad, man. They got a squad. Both sides have a squad. And again, frankly, I don't know who could be responsible, who could be wacky enough to pull it off, but that would be some kind of game.
If they just announced?
I don't know how that would happen.
All-Star game is gays versus straights. That might be the most watched.
I don't know. The marketing behind that seems golden almost.
Doesn't it? Yeah, that's interesting. All right. Well, there you go. That's it. But seriously, let us know in the comments. Who do you think would win that series? And if you think of other names, you let us know throughout the course of the show. We want to kind of figure this out. But as we said, we do have a great show for you guys tonight. We're getting into some college basketball tonight. Really excited. So we're going to hit the intro and get right into it.
Protect our queens.
They told me Asia Wilson wasn't marketable, bro.
Do you practice this? Was this spur of the moment?
Is Juju Watkins better than Caitlin Clark? I feel like people have been saying that already.
I mean, there's the argument that she was the best point guard as a rookie last year.
I still think Arike is a better basketball player than Sabrina Ionescu is.
Nafisa Collier is unstoppable right now.
Maybe, just maybe, Nafisa Collier is breathing down her neck. Asia Wilson knows it too. Derek Hamby is also on the Streets team.
Ooh, yes, she is.
There you go.
Yes, she is.
Shout out Mama D. All right, let's talk about this.
Stud buds. We know where they fall.
Stud buds. We know where they fall.
Reserves. We know.
Yeah, we know where they're at. Yeah. Where's Ka?
Man, I feel like I should maybe know, but I don't. I can't say I know for sure. Man, that's why it's really.
Skylar Diggins is on the Straits team.
Indeed.
Where's Ryan Howard? Is Ryan Howard on the street?
Oh, I don't know.
There's a
lot of question marks. We got
this is good. Natasha Howard is Brittany Griner. We forgot something. Look at that.
They're short. There's some more known ones. Yeah.
There's a lot. Okay. Anyway, let's talk about the male coaches in the WNBA. So the Dallas Wings announced not so long ago that Jose Fernandez will be their new head coach. This will be their third head coach in as many seasons. They had Latricia Trammell was their head coach in 2024. They had Chris Koklanis this last season, and now they have Jose Fernandez. The question now is becoming, are there too many male coaches, in the WNBA? It seems like, I believe after, isn't it just Becky Hammon and Sho Reeve are the only – and there's only a handful of female head coaches. Becky Hammon, Sho Reeve, Natalie Nakate.
There's 7 right now.
They kind of split up, but it seems like the last couple of female head coaches that have been fired, they've all turned to men, right? Tanisha Wright was fired by the Atlanta Dream. They turned to Carl Smezko. Teresa Weatherspoon was fired by the Chicago Sky. They turned to Tyler March. And so this has become an ongoing conversation. But Martin, I want to get your thoughts. Do you think there are too many male head coaches in the WNBA?
No, I don't. I wanted to use this time to talk about this as a male hosted women's basketball podcast. And there's a lot of discourse around this to the extent that, like I told you, I've seen people posing that not only that there should be more female head coaches, but that every head coach in the WNBA should be female. I wouldn't. I'm only going to advocate for qualification here. And that's not to say that every single hire was highly qualified and the right move and the right hire. And I'm going to sound like I'm coming off defending the male presence in the coaching ranks of the WNBA. I'm all for more female. I'm for any coaching hire that is qualified, that connects with players, that knows the game. That's just qualified. So I guess I'm just pushing back on this notion that seems to be spreading that just because there's been a good amount of male hires to replace females, that there's this like negative epidemic happening in the WNBA with too many male head coaches. And I feel like part of what discredits that is the fact that we have successes. We look at what Nate Tibbetts in Phoenix is good to go. And mind you, when he was hired, outrage. Do you remember? Like outrage. I mean, this guy has no women's basketball experience, has only been in the NBA, right? And look at him. A couple years in, he's been to the finals.
2 years in, he's in the finals, yeah.
Players love him. He's good there. Like he seems secure and good there. Has a group that seems to really be bought into him and vice versa. Look at what Carl Smezko just did year one in Atlanta. He's going to be there for the foreseeable future because of the job he did. I think Tyler Marsh is going to be a mainstay in Chicago. I liked what I saw, even though the team is trash. I watched enough to see how Angel was playing. Only Becky Hammond couldn't win with that roster. That roster was totally flawed. It wasn't about the coach. But so when it's that bad, you have to watch to see for yourself to see, okay, do I see anything? Do I see any imprint of what this coach is doing versus the previous coach? I did. Tyler Marsh versus Teaspoon. I did see differences in how Angel was playing and how the team was playing. I saw things that had me encouraged, like, okay, Tyler Marsh, you should be good. You seem to be doing a fine job. You're going to be good going forward, unless there's something I'm missing there. So again, I'm not saying every male hire is a success and is qualified. We have had plenty of disasters of male head coaches in the WNBA. Derek Fisher, Bill Laimbeer was okay for a second, but kind of turned into a disaster.
Turned into a disaster at the end. Oh my God. Yeah.
So but I'm just not supporting this notion that there's too many male hires in the WNBA. This guy, Jose Fernandez, again, comes with what we say we want. He experienced in the women's college game. Carl Smezko had, similar experience coming from Florida Gulf Coast, did a great job with Atlanta. Apparently this guy, I think his name's Jose Fernandez, right?
Jose Fernandez. Yep.
Mm-hmm. I knew Fernandez was the last name. I'm making sure I have the first name right. Apparently he was their first choice. I don't know if you saw, he was supposed to be the initial hire, not Chris Kopanis. Wow. Like apparently that was the thing. And when they wanted to hire him, it got too close to the college season. Because when they fired Latricia Trammell, it was too close to the college season. So that was the hang up with getting this guy. But apparently this guy was supposed to be the hire from the jump. So
it almost kind of feels like unless Chris just like did something miraculous, he was going to get fired this season anyway. Because they really
and that was obviously a miss in terms of like just relating to players. Like I don't know. I mean, I don't cover that team. I'm not around them. I've never met him. I don't know. But from afar, even from afar, looking at videos and clips from games, you could tell there was a disconnect. I don't know what his basketball acumen is, or clearly he knows the game at a certain level. There's probably things that he has strengths in. One of them didn't seem to be connecting with players. It just wasn't happening. You saw body language, facial expressions during timeouts, players looking lost, confused. Like all the signs were there that players were just not, there was a disconnect there. So obviously that was a miss. But I don't think these male coaching hires that are replacing females or that end up being unsuccessful are automatic signals that we're just doing too much with incorporating men into the WNBA coaching ranks. And the last quick thing I'll say as part of my first point, I also feel like I don't want to get away from like encouraging male involvement in the WNBA. Like, I get the sentiment of wanting to see a female leading a female-led team. But I also, I guess, just as part of my, I guess, male bias or my male whatever support or whatever, like, we want men involved in women's basketball, whether that's as a coach or a fan or a manager or whatever. And I'm not saying we need to overrun it or be the majority, but I like the fact that I can see a male on the sideline coaching women. You know, like, I like seeing men and women work together in basketball. So I'm for male head coaches. And I think at the WNBA level, it's part of what's helping to accelerate the game in terms of our like inclusion, right? I mean, you could call it like a DEI hire if you want. I don't care. Like, it's, you know, like let's and I'm not advocating for let's keep men in the WNBA. Let's keep men coaching in the W. I just think it helps show more of what we want to see, which is men involved in the women's game at a high level, coaching it, refereeing it, being fans of it, whatever.
Yeah, it's interesting because after we talked about it and we put in the show together on Sunday, like, I was so prepared to come on here and be like, I do think there's too many. But then I thought about it, and I thought about like the context in which we're seeing these men hired, right? So if you look at the 3 instances this season where a team went from a female coach to a male coach, we'll start with the Dream, right? You go from Tanisha Wright to Carl Smezko. Carl Smezko is a Coach of the Year candidate. Alicia Gray has the best season of her career. The Dream finished above 500 for the first time in I don't know how long. They made it out of the first round for the first time since like 2013 or something like that. Like, they had a really they were one of the best teams in the league this season under Carl Smezko. You look at that and you say, it makes sense. To your point about Tyler Marsh, same thing. There's a lot of outrage over the Teresa Weatherspoon hire because only one season. Now you're turning to Tyler Marsh, and you don't see the wins pile up the way they did for Atlanta and Carl Smezko. But to your point, even though the team was really, really bad, Angel Reese played better this season. She looked a little bit better. There were some improvements that were made. Camila Cardoso even looked better this season. And you look at that and you go, well, maybe there's some signs of improvement there. Also, not to mention the fact Tyler Marsh did win 2 championships with the Las Vegas Aces as a part of an assistant coach on their staff. It was a big part of that as well. Then you go to Chris Koklinas going to that from Latricia Trammell. They won 1 more game this year than they did last year. But in the context, this was still a team that only returned 2 starters, right? Players they went out and got, players like Ty Harris, she got hurt. Paige Beckers missed sometimes. They went out and got Alyssa Smith and got Dejanay Carrington, then sent them to Las Vegas and Minnesota respectively. So it's like the team that he walked into wasn't the team that he ended the season with. In fact, I saw something where like they had 18 different starting lineups this season, which was the most in the WNBA. So like there was a lot of turnover where you look at that and you say, does Latricia Trammell do better if everything stays the same except for the coach? Does the season still happen the way it does? Probably so, yes. So I can't look at that and say this is a sign as to, darn, maybe they should have kept Latricia Trammell. I think what I think has been most promising is every instance, for the most part, of recent, Carl Smezko, Nate Tibbetts, and Tyler Marsh. Every instance where a team has gone from a female coach to a male coach. How
about your team? How about Sydney Johnson? Come on.
Sydney Johnson. Well, that was Mike Thibault to Sydney Johnson. But even so, Sydney Johnson still on a male hire, but he's still, for what it's worth, up until they traded Brittany Sykes, the Mystics were teetering on playoff positioning this season. So it's like every instance where a new male head coach was hired the past couple of years, they've actually done pretty okay in their first season. So it hasn't been like this thing where you look at, I'm a big football guy. You look at, like, and I said this on the phone, in football, for example, you get like just what seems to be the lowest qualified white guy to be the head coach. And he goes out and lays an egg in the first season, but he gets time after time after time. But, maybe a more qualified black guy doesn't get the job, or when he does get the job, he's out of there in the first thing smoking. It's not that. And I think
that's what I think people are trying to make it.
Exactly. And I think that's the big difference is this is not like what we're seeing in the NFL where people are getting hired who are probably not the most qualified candidate and they're failing and still getting chances. What I like that's most promising, because I did some digging on Jose. Jose Fernandez. He's been at USF for over a decade, and they've been in the tournament the last 10 years. Like he's been very successful at USF. That's very similar to what we saw from Carlos Metzko coming out of Florida Gulf Coast. Same thing. Yep. Very successful in college ranks. Now, he is inheriting a tough situation, right? Yeah. But you would like to think, especially if this is a guy if you're saying they wanted to hire him anyway instead of hiring Chris, this is the go-to guy. You have to think, number one, he's going to have a longer leash. But that's also to expect that what they had this season is going to happen next season. Like, you can't possibly imagine they're going to have 18 different starting lines. Enrique didn't play much basketball all this season as well. That's another component of it. So it's like, when you look at the context of it, I don't think it's that it's too many. I think, you know what I think it is? I think we as fans, no matter what the sport is, because it happens like all the time, I think we as fans have an idea of what we want to see. And when what we want to see doesn't happen, we automatically assume it's a bad thing. Like, a lot of people want to see a Lisa Leslie as a head coach, or see a Cheryl Swoops as a head coach, or maybe even and as you said the other day, we were talking, like, do these people even want to be head coaches? Like, are we even sure that these former players want to be head coaches? And so when you look at it from that perspective, I like, we as fans, I feel like sometimes kind of make ourselves upset. Like, we see someone gets fired, boom, put Lisa. I did it with Seattle. Put Lisa Leslie in Seattle because I think that would be a really good fit. But Lisa Leslie might be fine just coaching in the Big Three and doing what she does. I was like, doing what she does, showing up courtside to games and just being more so of a legend who is now an ambassador of the game. Same thing for Cheryl Swoops. So I think that is another part of it that's contributing to this narrative that there are too many male coaches. But I'm with you. As long as, I don't care who it is, as long as it is a qualified person who's coming in here and being successful, I don't care who the coach is of any team, as long as it's lending to the betterment of the game and good basketball being displayed. That's all that matters.
Yeah, and representation. I'm all for representation, so I understand the sentiment of wanting to see more female head coaches, especially because, and I think the Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Swoops crowd, I think you make a good point. That's more about fans drawing up what they think would be a cool story, as opposed to like vetting who they think are the most qualified female candidates to be head coaches, because there are plenty of qualified females in the WNBA on coaching staffs, not coaching. There are plenty of qualified females to be head coaches. Like, that is just a fact. Christy Tolliver. Look,
her name has been coming up a lot.
Indiana. Who's the assistant with Indiana? Breon January. There are females on these staffs that clearly and might end up becoming head coaches. So, I mean, I'm all for vouching for those females who are absolutely qualified. I know that Spoon firing left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. I think mainly because, like, she's a legend, like she's a WNBA legend, and because of her relationship with Angel, and we had talked about that. But yeah, so I just think it should be more about the vouching for the qualified people who really should be talked about more, females, that is, as potential head coaches. I also think, like, we can't lose sight of the fact that there are 7 female head coaches right now in the league. There were 4 there were only 4 in 2020, and that's when we had the Derek Fishers, the Bill Lambiers, like a ton of male head coaches. There were only 4. Now there's 7. Let's not forget, Seattle fired a female head coach, hired a female head coach. Toronto expansion team just hired a female head coach. Golden State was a franchise. It was a new expansion team, hired a female head coach. Like, they're out here. Stephanie White is the head coach of the Indiana Fever. I mean,
the Sparks hired Lynn Roberts as we were doing a pod last offseason, and
Sparks hired Lynn Roberts. There are 7 female head coaches, and I think there will continue to be a balance. Overall, I think it's a good thing that we have male head coaching presence in the WNBA, mainly because I think it further promotes even just the optics of seeing males in the women's basketball space. We see it plenty in women's college basketball. Gino, Wes Moore. I mean, we have some staples of male head coaches in women's college basketball. But in the WNBA, I think now we're seeing a little bit more of a balance, and we'll see some more males kind of make a name for themselves. And I think that's a good thing, especially if it's leading to, production and success for those franchises.
For sure. Ghost Your Last wants to know if you're trying to
Huh.
put Ghost Queens on it.
You're on a roll tonight. You're on a roll tonight. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Let's take a quick break, and when we come back from this break, we're going to talk a little bit about who the best player in the country is.
Yo, shout out to my brother Martin over there, man. Basketball Society YouTube channel, Protect Our Queens podcast. Yes, man. Shout out to the WNBA. We love y'all, and we got to keep showing them love. Okay, history is literally repeating itself right now. We got Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, okay, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. A big rivalry, crazy going on right now today in our game. We got to show them some love. It's a lot of dudes today that couldn't do half the stuff that they do. We got to give them that love. Now, let me explain something to you. A lot of layups, okay? A lot of three-point shooting. That's what you're going to get, okay? But we got to protect our queens at the end of the day. What are we talking about? Protect them. They deserve it.
So let's switch gears now. I want to talk a little about Sarah Strong. Martin and I are both of the mindset that Sarah Strong is the best player in the country. But the question that we have to answer is, why is Sarah Strong the best player in the country? But before we do that, Martin, if you could do me just this one solid, I would like to take us back down memory lane to the last time you and I talked about Sarah Strong on this show. I made a pretty bold claim on the show. I saw a tweet after Juju won National Player of the Year. I saw a tweet where there's a very short list of underclassmen who have won National Player of the Year, and Juju became I think the 6th or the 7th person. Sarah Strong probably gonna be the National Player of the Year next year, bro. They're gonna have AZ still. If I'm not mistaken, Khalees, this is her year where she's gonna be a freshman as well. Sarah Strong is just really good. I know that you and I started talking about how they were trying to, explain to Sarah how good she was. And you watch that game and she's all over the place. She's scoring on all 3 levels. She's playing good defense. She's crashing boards. She's just causing problems for everybody. The fact that they were trying to explain to Sarah Strong just how good she was last season. Sarah Strong, I stand by my statement. I think Sarah Strong is going to be the National Player of the Year this year. And I think Sarah Strong is the best player in the country. And I think
a lot of people do, by the way. I'm pretty sure everyone's here now.
I would hope
I'm pretty sure the country is very much on notice. You would hope so.
I've seen some other names throughout. There's a couple of people out here.
We can talk about it, but I think that conversation was on the heels of the national championship.
Yep.
We know what happened, and you made that take. I don't think it was bold. I think it was common sense based on what we just saw and based on how good we know Sarah Strong is coming into this season, where Gino says she's better than what we saw in the national championship. I don't think it's that bold. I think it's come to common sense that Sarah Strong's the best player in the country, and she's going to be the leading candidate for National Player of the Year. Let's
just really
talk about some maybe people who might challenge her, but she's the front run. Based on what has transpired from March to now, it's her. It's no longer bold or it's not any of that. It's common sense. It's common sense now. So it's fun. I'm glad we get to talk about her this way now.
Yeah, I you know what? It makes me wish that Juju didn't get hurt, because it'd been really interesting to see that conversation of Juju versus Sarah for the best players in the country. But I mean, again, you look at Sarah Strong, and this is just if you are unfamiliar with what Sarah Strong did last season, please allow me to remind you. She averaged 16 and 9 last season with 2 steals and 2 blocks a game. She had 12 double-doubles in the season. She led UConn in total rebounds, total blocks, and total steals. She averaged 19 and 12 in the tournament, scored 24 points, and had 15 boards in the blowout over South Carolina in the championship game. She set the record for most rebounds in she set a UConn freshman record for points, 657, and that's actually the second most points in program history. She was freshman of the year, and she was a second-team All-American.
I'm glad you said freshman of the year to just remind people that she did this as a freshman.
She did all of this as a freshman. This is only her sophomore year. It's only going to get scarier from here, bro. Watching Sarah, you know how I always say that watching A'ja Wilson on free television feels like a crime against humanity? I feel like that sometimes when I watch Sarah Strong. Watching Sarah Strong play basketball on free television feels like a crime because she's so good, and she don't want to say she shouldn't be this good, but almost like she's a freshman. Like she almost shouldn't be this good this early. And it makes you just marvel at what she can be in 2 years, in 3 years, when she enters the WNBA. Like, I don't know. You said we can throw out some names that can potentially challenge her as the best player in the country this year. I don't know how long that list is. I mean, I think Lauren, like, it's not a very, I think Lauren Betts' name comes to mind. She was in the conversation to be one of the best players in the country last season. People have thrown AZ's name out there. I think AZ could also be in that conversation.
Yes.
We both feel very strongly about Hannah. Hannah Hidalgo's name could be in that conversation. Aside from the three of them,
Maddie Booker could have a case. She could have a case.
I don't know if Maddie Booker is there yet. And the reason why is because I think the thing that separates Sarah, Hannah, Lauren, from Maddie, there have been some games, like the big games, the games that really matter, where Maddie has just struggled immensely. And I think if we're going to say that you're the best player in the country, those are those moments when your game takes that next step and it elevates. And I'd be very excited to see if she can, get to that point this season. But I think she's like in that tier, like right under those. Like if we're saying Sarah's at the top of the mountain and Lauren Betts and Hannah and AZ are like the three closest to her, I would say Maddie is like in that next tier of players. I just want to see her in a big game take over the game and not like in the games against South Carolina, like she wasn't great in those games. Like she played pretty well, but she wasn't like great in those games. And there's been times over the course
great in some other games.
She was great in some other games for sure.
Dominated some big games before.
She did, but I just feel like we've seen like some of those other players like do it all the time. And I think with Maddie, it's just been a little bit more hit and miss than I would like to see for a player that I'm going to say is potentially the best player. And I know that feels really like splitting hairs, nitpicky kind of thing, but I feel like when you're talking about who the best player in the country is, you almost kind of have to be a little nitpicky when it comes to something.
I hear you. I think that's fair. I said her name as if she elevates in any possible way from what she's done these last 2 years, she may have a case for best player in the country. That's all.
I agree. I
you know what I mean? If she's any better than what we've seen these last 2 years, she may create a case for herself. That's all I mean. She's been SEC Player of the Year both years. So she's one of the best players in the country. So she's not that far. But I think it's fair what you said, because that next tier, I would put like someone like Flaugier there as well, because she's another example to me of if she were to take on a certain approach, she has the components to make an argument for maybe best player in the country. Like I just think Flaugier is that good, but I would put her where you put her right now in terms like where you said about Maddie, like kind of that next year, like that's where I'd put Flaugier as well. But I would say the same thing about her. Like I think high enough of Flaugier where there are times when she could look like the best player in the country just based on all the different things she can do.
And I think the great thing for both of them is they're both in a position this season where they have the opportunity to take that next step with just what we expect their teams to do. I mean, Texas was a 1 seed last season. LSU, we're going to talk about them a little bit more in a second. Now they have MiLaysia Fulwiley, but like they have that opportunity to take that next step. And I think they will. But I do agree with you on the Flaugier thing as well.
I think Maddie Booker has more of a chance to do it than Flaugier, because I think the story with LSU was going to be a lot more about MiLaysia than anything else.
For sure.
Not to say that's going to take away from Flaugier, but it might take away from Flaugier just a little bit.
That's a big deal. No, that's a big deal. Yeah.
Kim Mulkey's talking about Lay having an approach of being the engine of that team. And Flaugier can do a little bit of everything, of course. And she's a great player, but she doesn't have as much responsibility and usage as a Maddie Booker is my point. So yeah, they both have opportunities, but I think Maddie's opportunity as the sole alpha and only scorer on that team really thus far. Like
everything's going to go through Maddie.
Things go through Maddie all the time. Yeah.
What about?
But it's fun. It's cool because again, I just think Sarah Strong is the best player in the country right now. And it's not really a debate. I don't know if you got to catch any clips from that Louisville game yesterday. I only saw a quarter and a half because then I had to get on with you to start prepping for this. But the first quarter of the regular season, I know we're not talking about UConn as a whole, but I'll just throw it out there. UConn looks insane. Sarah Williams, Kaylee Heckel, those transfers are hitting. KK Arnold looks sharper and smoother and more confident than ever. UConn looks insane. Insane. Sarah Williams next to Sarah Strong, that's going to give everybody the fact. Sarah Williams is part of what's going to make this year so smooth and almost easy for Sarah Strong, because Sarah Williams is doing a lot of that dirty work, and she can listen, we're not talking about UConn. Let's focus on Sarah. Like I'm trying to stay focused. I'm so excited about this season and what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Sarah Strong. Jesus, if you actually really love basketball, my God, watching this girl play, there's almost not even the right words to describe how special she is. And I hate when I have to go this into detail, because I know not everybody really likes this kind of stuff, but Sarah Strong has some of the best hands I've ever seen. Now that I'm like watching her more, I'm reminded of like what it is that makes her so rare and special. Her feet, it's all about her feel for the game, bro. This is an example of a player. When you watch her, the reason why people will use words like effortless and smooth and things like that, like it's her feel for the game. If you see the passes she makes, I think her passing and her playmaking is going to be a huge story this season. The kind of reads I'm seeing her make. Obviously we know she's a 3-level scorer, but like even with that, like smooth, feathery shooting touch. I think her touch, her hands, and her feel are the key themes when you watch her play. Like she's got the size, obviously, to be able to play inside and out. She's got the shooting touch. She just her feel and awareness for the floor, Marcus. It's on another level. So you add in her size, her vision, her shooting to like it's the whole package. It's the whole package. And she's playing on a team with other great players. She's being coached by Gino. It's UConn. Like, man, she is something else, man. She's something else. Like, she is just a great basketball player. She makes plays sometimes that make me think Jokic. And then she'll do a face-up thing that makes me think Carmelo. And then she'll do something that makes you think like a little Paul Pierce. Like, I don't know. She's different, man. She can great defender. Like her feel, a lot of times it players a great feel in that. It should translate to defense, because like I wouldn't call her like a lockdown defender, but she just has a great feel for like challenging shots. Her greatness as an offensive player, I think, translates to her greatness defensively, because she knows what people are trying to do. Like you're not going to get off stuff on her. Like she knows she's got all the moves. So like you try something on her, nope. Like unless you're better than me at this, I know you're going to turn around. I know you're going to like, so she's like, man, she is just, she is the ultimate weapon in women's college basketball. She's the ultimate all-around player in women's college basketball right now. She is different, man. She's special.
Jeremy says watching Sarah gives him the feeling he had watching Maya and Stewie.
Same. It's that next iteration of the great of the UConn greats right here. Now, I do equals Duncan and Joker. Yeah, but see, Sarah's bringing that ball up, man. Sarah's got a little bit more of a guard wing component, pick and pop 3-point line, not pick and pop mid-range like a Tim Duncan, pick and pop 3-point line. If she's open, she's shooting it, and she can take it off the dribble, 2-3 dribbles, spin move, under control, make a read, make a scoring read. Like it's a lot of different greats kind of put together. It's really special, man. It's really cool.
Going back to Maddie for just a second, Jeremy was asking, does Madison remind you or equal Nafisa Collier at all?
Ooh, that's a lot of footwork she's going to have to add to get to Fee's level. That's a lot of footwork and counters and stuff she's going to have to get. That's a cool comp. I think that could be a cool comp for her in the future. If she were to progress to a Fee level, that all I'm saying is that's a level of footwork and counters that I haven't seen yet from Maddie. But in terms of build and potential skill set, that could be on point. That's interesting.
Let's switch gears now. We want to continue to get your thoughts, so feel free to flood the comments with any other thoughts you have on Sarah Strong. Let's switch gears now from one young, exciting player, probably the most young, exciting player in the country in Sarah Strong, to another young, exciting player in MiLaysia Fulwiley, who has a fresh start at LSU. And let's actually go back to when Martin and I talked about MiLaysia transferring earlier this year. I think I actually would like to see MiLaysia and Flau'jae and Michaela Williams on the same team.
Oh my God, bro! Can you?
I think the more that I sit here, the more that okay. Let's put the South Carolina allegiance aside. Now that I'm really sitting here and I've like sat on it and I've thought about it, go to LSU. I think that'd be great. I would like to see that.
Imagine that smoke.
Yeah. Now that I'm out of my feelings about it, and I'm just sitting here like I'm really thinking, Flau'jae Johnson, Michaela Williams, MiLaysia Fulwiley would be. Yeah, I want to see that. Sign me up. Sign me up.
Yeah, and that was before she. That was
before she transferred.
That was when she.
That was a week after the national transfer.
That was when she announced that she was hitting the transfer portal. We didn't know where she was going yet, and we were just projecting and predicting where she may go. And I said LSU, and at first you pushed back.
Because I didn't think that MiLaysia Fulwiley would be. I don't want to say grimy. I didn't think she would like KD it and go to the.
I know. I said that would be the most diabolical. I said that would be the most diabolical move. I don't think she did it in a diabolical nature, but just on paper, you're going to another SEC. There's no avoiding it. Like, it's pretty diabolical, just objectively speaking. So, yeah, you warmed up to. The more you thought about it, the more you realized.
I just was like really sitting on it, and I was like,
hold on,
that'd be a pretty cool thing.
Entertainment. It's good entertainment. I mean, yeah.
I won't enjoy it when we have to play them this season, but it'll be great to watch when they're not playing South Carolina. But I would like to get. Like, I can sit. I do have thoughts, obviously. Like, I can sit here and give you, my thoughts. But I would like to get your thoughts first, because we're talking about. So for me, I don't think this is just about MiLaysia at LSU. I think this is about MiLaysia, Michaela Williams, and Flau'jae together. At LSU. Yes, I think that is.
Agreed.
Not saying it's like the bigger story, because obviously MiLaysia transferring at all and then going to LSU is a big story. But I think the three of them being together is what I think is going to make this most interesting, because what Flau'jae and Michaela need, for lack of a better word, a little bit of direction. And I'm not saying that like MiLaysia is the best equipped to give them the direction, but what I know is that MiLaysia Fulwiley of the three is the most equipped to be the one running the floor with the ball in her hands, making all the decisions. And I think both of them are equally as capable in their own way because of how they play and being able to play off of her, and that look really like I think this could be the best. I think this could be the best trio in the country. The three of them, I think, could be the best trio in the country. Just because I think this is just another one of those scenarios where you have three players whose play styles fit in a way that almost like makes too much sense. And I think that's why, as I was sitting here and thinking about it when we were talking about in the episode that comes from, I think that's what made me warm up to it. I was like, what am I sitting there thinking? I'm like, MiLaysia, kind of plays at a little breakneck pace, and Flau'jae can sometimes play at a breakneck pace, and Michaela Williams can as well. And if you can get all three of them playing at a breakneck speed but controlled, it can be really fun to watch as fans. But it can be really scary if you're on the floor of them trying to stop it. It's like trying to cut off the head of a server. It's like you don't really know how to stop it. But what is it about, whether it's just MiLaysia or the three of them all together, that you are most looking for, expecting, or whatever for the course of the season?
I do think that MiLaysia's presence adds. I'm with you on. It's about that trio, and their trio is obviously all guards, right? And so, I like to look at balance. UConn's trio last year was the great balance of point guard, shooting guard, forward. All of them can shoot the ball at a high level at all three levels. We talked about it after the national. We talked about it through UConn's run last year. Those three are playing at another level, but it's also the balance of those three. Yeah. These three, as all guards, I'm honestly, I'm listening to every word Kim Mulkey says about this girl. Ever since the summer, I've been every clip I see, I'm listening intently to hear what Kim Mulkey is saying. Over the summer, a lot of people were talking about this and how Kim Mulkey was talking about the point guard thing, how she needs Lay to be a point guard, how they're breeding her to be a point guard. She's got to be the point guard. The quote after last night's game, I don't know if you heard any of Mulkey's comments. I'm told you I'm hanging on to her words because that's I need the insight on how she's managing this thing. She had a really fascinating quote, man. She said, because people brought up the spark plug thing. Someone asked her about Lay coming off, they're bringing her off the bench so far. I don't know how long that'll last, but that's an interesting thing. They started by bringing her off the bench. She said they would do that. And they mentioned the spark plug thing off the bench. And Kim Mulkey was like, man, I hate that term. She's like, I came off the bench. She said, I was considered a spark plug and people would ask me about that. And I hated that because she was like, when do I stop becoming the spark plug and start becoming the engine? And she said, that's what they're working on with MiLaysia Fulwiley is it goes back to what I said when she made the move to LSU. There is a world where she can become a better player, more complete player, ready for the pros. She can become ready playing for Kim Mulkey, just like we all feel like she could become ready playing for Dawn Staley. It's what I said then. There's a world where she could benefit just as much from playing for Kim Mulkey as she did playing for Dawn Staley. And Kim Mulkey, at least from what she's saying, is working on helping MiLaysia Fulwiley take an approach as a great all-around player, more of an engine for their team than just a spark plug. That's the story right there. That's the whole story of this transfer. It's what we talked about with Lay outside at South Carolina, with her going to LSU. Is she just let her go out there and is she just a spark plug? Or is she being encouraged and empowered and coached to more run this team? Because I love the way Kim Mulkey is talking about her in the sense that she's not just a spark plug. She has this is what I had said to you and all these people talking about MiLaysia Fulwiley and her IQ and all this stuff that does not matter. The girl is more talented than almost any guard in women's college basketball. She can do things that people don't even realize she can do as a passer, as a playmaker, as a generator of offense, not just fancy layups and cool finishes. That's not just the extent of her game, and step back deep threes. That comes with the Lay experience. She has the ability to run this team, not as a conventional point guard, because that's not what she is. That's not what I think Kim Mulkey is going to try to turn her into. But she does have to be the engine and the point guard in the sense that she's looking to score, she's being herself, but she's also learning how to make other people better. So I think she has the ability to do those things. I think they're still going to be their success as a team is going to have as much to do with their front court and their bigs as it does their big three. But what MiLaysia Fulwiley adds to Flau'jae and Michaela, big time shot maker. Flau'jae, more of an athlete slasher, do it all type. MiLaysia's the perfect guard, I think, to slot between those two, where LSU, listen, last season, they had struggles on offense. They had times when you didn't know. We know Michaela can create a shot. We know Flau'jae can, but there were times when it seemed like their guard unit was a little shorthanded. I don't think it's going to feel that way this year, because when they have lulls or lapses or they have this girl who is just going to be roaming and running free and creating. Now, I think I'm watching to see how she progresses in helping to make other people better, because that's part of her progression with this team. But I think her skill set and her talent is perfect between Flau'jae and MiLaysia. I think she adds something to them that not only that they didn't have before, but that no other team in college basketball has in terms of her talent. So I think she's going to excel right away.
Yeah. I think, and again, for me, that's why I think it is going to be so interesting, is because as you're saying, it fit. It's a spot that makes sense. right? Like there are a couple of different places that I mean, you and I like you and I had kind of tossed some stuff around. I mean, you and I joked like she can go like to a team that doesn't really mean anything if the goal is like to average 50 and just get her points up and all that stuff. But this move isn't just a move about like getting more opportunity to see the floor, right? This is an opportunity to really mold herself into a player who can go to the next level and train. And I think that's the part about this that makes it the most interesting for me. Because like, okay, you have a player in Flau'jae Johnson who in a couple months is going, her name's gonna be called at the WNBA draft. Like she is a WNBA prospect. You have Michaela Williams, who eventually will be there as well. And the way that they are going to play, it's almost, I would imagine, going to mimic the way that MiLaysia can expect to play when she does get there. I think that's the part about this that I think will make them so scary, is because if MiLaysia, as long as the ball is in MiLaysia's hands, you're really not going to know what to expect. Like, you're not going to know what to expect because she could pass it to Flau'jae, she could pass it to Michaela, she could keep it herself and drive, she can create for herself and make a shot. Like, there's so much there that I think even to this point that's in the comments about LSU not really having any good post players, like, I do hear you on that point. I'll be honest, I'm not super duper familiar on what their post depth looks like. But when you have these three on the perimeter, like things are going to open up for their post players regardless. So it's not even just about the impact that MiLaysia has on herself or that MiLaysia has on Flau'jae or Michaela. It's that it's going to open up a lot. Like we talked a lot about Caitlin and her gravity. MiLaysia has a different type of gravity. Like Caitlin's gravity is a gravity that forces defense to extend out beyond the perimeter. MiLaysia's gravity is kind of like you kind of just have to go wherever she goes because she can go anywhere, whether it's the three, whether it's the mid-range or whether it's driving, and it's going to open up so much for them. The one thing, and I did say this to you before, and it is something that I'm still looking at. I'm not saying that it's going to be a big problem. I'm not saying that Kim Mulkey can't do it, but I am just thinking back to how excited we all were when Haley Van Lith transferred from Louisville to LSU, and it didn't work. And Haley Van Lith, not nearly as talented as MiLaysia, not nearly as dynamic, but a very traditional point guard. And you thought, oh, a traditional point guard should fit here. And it didn't really work for whatever the reason was. I know you said it's because they didn't have a system. Maybe they had just way too much talent at that time. Didn't really have a plan. They were just excited to get as many people in as possible. What I would hate to happen, and I don't think it will, but I would hate for us to get into any point this season where for some reason it seems like it's too much to handle. There's just too much excitement on the floor at one time. There's too much spark on the floor at one time. There's too many dynamic players on the floor at one time because all three of these guards are dynamic in their own way. Yeah. And I expect them to be one of the best teams in the country and make a pretty good run in the tournament. But I just hope that early into the season, not like so early, but sooner rather than later, they figure out what that transition from spark plug to engine looks like, and they're able to control the chaos. Because this, as I said, this can be a very chaotic trio. But if it's controlled, then like who's stopping them? If they're if all three of them are operating at their highest possibilities, who's really going to stop them?
Yeah, that's where that's I think what I'm watching for is I almost feel like the way this trio is set up, chaos might be in their favor. They might have to turn some games into chaos in order to have the advantage. I even going back to the Haley Van Lith point, somewhat of a point on Kim Mulkey's coaching style with LSU. I don't see as much of a dedicated, consistent flow of an offensive system like what we see with UConn. Right. And like not UConn's not the only team running great systems, but I just use them as an example. When you watch LSU, that's just not the kind of basketball I see. With MiLaysia Fulwiley, and that's why when you first brought up the Haley Van Lith thing, I'm like, man, this is a totally different case. Like they're both combo guards. Haley Van Lith didn't come into LSU as a traditional point guard. She was a combo guard at Louisville. They tried to turn her into a traditional point guard, which is what I thought was part of the problem. She played a little bit more of a traditional point guard at TCU, but the way again, put her in way more pick and rolls. We talked about it. Like the way they used her as a point guard was totally different than how LSU used her as a point guard. MiLaysia Fulwiley You can put her at point. She has no position. Like, sure, okay, put PG next to her name. Have her bring up the ball. Cool, whatever. Once you get into the half court, we're just playing basketball. Like, who cares what her position is? Like, and I've criticized Mulkey and LSU for that style of play and that system, and I don't think it favored Haley Van Lith. I think it favors MiLaysia Fulwiley. Like, and I hear you, and I agree with you on. There's a lot of management that's going to happen here. That's why I said I usually don't watch press conferences like that. I'm trying to watch every Kim Mulkey press conference. I want to know as much as what she will tell us about how she is managing this girl and this trio and this team, because this can be as entertaining as dynamic. They have the talent between those three to do something special. I believe that, but it's going to need to be coached. It's going to need to be managed. But at some level, I do think the chaos might work in their favor in some games. Like if I think about them matching up with, let's think about the South Carolina matchup. South Carolina is going to have more discipline, more plays, more inside play, more tradition. Now with Tanaya Latson, I'm looking forward to eventually talking about South Carolina. You didn't want to talk about your Gamecocks tonight. I'm going to tell your Gamecock fan friends about that, but eventually we'll talk about them. I'm excited to, because Tanaya Latson, really interesting things to think about with how South Carolina looks now. But that matchup is going to be fascinating, because how is South Carolina going to be playing versus how LSU rolls out the ball and plays? South Carolina historically just a little more disciplined, traditional. LSU is going to be out there wanting to run, wanting to score, wanting to play. So whose style will outplay who? It goes without saying, that LSU South Carolina game, that's the biggest game of this basketball season by far. It's going to draw the most ratings. Yeah. It's the KD going back to the Warriors. It's LeBron going back to Cleveland. Like, it's not, I mean, it's very dramatic. I mean, she didn't, there wasn't some big, I mean, with the fans were upset. I mean, this is a huge story, right? I feel like they're trying to not make it too dramatic, but you can't avoid it. You can't avoid it. And I honestly feel like the LSU South Carolina game is going to be when we find out who, and it's going to suck because it's only one game. It's only a small set, but that's going to let us know like who made the right decision.
We're going to play them like 4 times because like we always
and there's going to be several games, so we'll have plenty of. But again,
that first one is going to be a big deal. Yeah,
those games are going to decide and determine who made the right decision here. Is Dawn going to be over there frustrated like in the national championship because Lay is hitting deep three after deep three and cooking them? And it's like, what is happening here? Guard, y'all know her, guard her. Or is Lay going to be over there getting worn out by South Carolina and be like, dang, man, that strength and conditioning stuff, I missed out on that this year. They like, it's going to be interesting. I could keep talking about this for a lot longer, but that's all I got for now.
It is going to be very, very interesting. And I look forward to the day. Not really. I'm gonna lose years off my life. My blood pressure will be through. But I do genuinely look forward to the day. It is always a pleasure to talk women's basketball with my guy Martin Stories, and we appreciate all of you guys who tapped in with us. Don't forget to subscribe to Basketball Society so you don't miss any future episodes of Protect Our Queens or any other content curated here on the page. Make sure you like the video, comment, turn on the notification bell, all that good stuff. College season is here. We took a little bit of a pause, but we are back and we are full steam ahead. And we can't wait to go through every step of the college season with you guys. So for my guy,
we ain't going nowhere. Follow the channel. We got uploads every day, every week. We got shorts. We got all of it. Ain't no hiatus. Ain't no pause. It's only been 2 weeks. We here. We ain't going nowhere. We're on YouTube. Tap in. Basketball Society. Protect our queens. Stop playing with me.
Yeah, not the Kings. The Queens. Protect the Queens.
Yeah, it's the Queens. Yeah.
Protect the Queens. For my guy, Martin Sories, founder of Basketball Society, this is Marcus of the Protect Our Queens podcast signing off. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, you enjoy yourselves some women's basketball.